Dear Earl, Hi, my name is Paige and I'm a very big fan of yours. You probably know me by another name. We are multiple and thus have multiple names and aliases for those names, etc. In short, lots of names. But you can call me Paige. And I'm just writing to you because my conjoined cousin is really the one who wants to say something, but he's very shy. You can call him Dale. So, about 2 years ago, Dale took a small dose of Obical P, which he had taken before, but the difference this time was that before the Obical P, he prayed. And either his prayers were answered, or it was just a coincidence. Who knows? I suppose you could say God knows if you're into that sort of thing. Anyway, Dale experienced what he started to affectionately refer to as his big trip, where some would argue that Dale lost his mind, while others would argue that Dale found God, when in reality, it was probably a little bit of both. Dale was elated and lapsed into a frenzy of writing and painting and drawing and researching feverishly, all for a multidisciplinary venture he called the Project. The project was supposed to reveal the next step as he went along, like a game, all designed by God or Dale's lost mind, depending on who you ask. Dale and I would create periodic recordings detailing the project's progress. So now I imagine you're wondering, what does any of this have to do with you? Well, during the big trip, Dale became sure of two things. One, that he was supposed to start a censor and call it a censor. The word censor is very important because, well, just because, as in a dream, that was just the way things had to be. And two, that you were Dale's doppelganger because of a few coincidences having to do with numbers and the choice of glasses and hair, things like that. Things that were really only manufactured after the fact for the sake of proof, which Dale didn't need because he knew. So, seeing as you had a censor too, which as it turns out wasn't too far, Dale went there because that seemed to be the next part of the project, with Nikita, the love of his life, whom he had met and fallen in love with shortly after the big trip. So the next part was easy. Dale was supposed to take Nikita to the Grey Lodge, and they were both supposed to love it, and you were supposed to recognize Dale, or yourself in Dale, or something, and we would merge our sensors, and then we would all receive the next part of the project. But no, of course not. Of course, that's not how it happened at all. It would have never happened that way. What kind of a game would that have been? Also, what are the odds? Quote, this is how it was always going to be. Unquote. Mom, 6:6. The next part is the part that Dale is shy about. Because Dale really likes you. You've met in person now, 2 times, roughly. And Dale feels the connection they expected to feel. They admire you so much, your art, your vision, and your keratosis. Your accomplishments are awesome, in the original sense of the word. But in spite of Dale's respect for you, or perhaps because of it, we couldn't stay silent about this one thing. Something isn't right in the Grey Lodge. We've been trying to figure it out. We have sort of a theory. It's like this. When you have black and white, you can make gray, but you can also make contrast, variation, motion, life, not uniform, imperfect. See it? Or it's like this. If God is a meat storm, like you say, where's the meat? And where's the storm? Where are R. Crumb and Max Beckman? We know, you know, there's a place for them. But all we see is purity, emptiness. I'm not just talking about the art. I'm talking about the vibes, the feel, the aura. Catharsis cannot exist without a struggle. If God is everything, and there's something missing, even something, quote, bad, unquote, then it can't be God, can it? Or it's as if there's a connection missing. For example, I tiptoed around and noticed something. The volunteers don't go to church. They're nonplussed, used to it. And I get it, I'm a witch too. But Dale would love to be brainwashed, squeaky clean, give their entire self in a heartbeat, and do it again. The Church of Art and Obacal-P? What could be more fitting? Dale is the pig that wants to be eaten. How could he have come all the way here, only not to fit inside? I'm sorry. I don't want to scare you, or anybody. It's my job to navigate these delicate situations. But sometimes saying don't be scared, or explaining why there's no reason to be scared, just makes humans more scared. Quote, I could never tell when the joke goes too far. Unquote. Mom, 15:2. So I apologize in advance. Unless you don't mind being scared. Is scared just another spelling of the word sacred? I don't know. Personally, I like it sometimes, but not everybody seems to agree. I was going to just keep coming back, carefully navigating the empty spaces, like I've always done, until the next step was revealed. But the problem is, Nikita feels it too. The wrongness, the invisible forces resistant to our kind. Nikita says we can't keep going back because it's too creepy, but not the good kind. Dale is like the blue-footed booby. Infinite trust, no fear, and even when I'm afraid, my curiosity usually gets the best of me. So when Nikita is afraid, we know we need to pay attention. But somehow, I don't think it's over. I don't think the Grey Lodge was a dead end. I don't think that's how the story goes. I'm not sure what I'm asking. I know it would be easier if I had specific questions, so you could give specific answers. But we've come to realize that that's never how the project really works. It's based on feelings and hunches and intuitions, which can be tricky. It would be ridiculous for me to ask you to change the Grey Lodge for Nikita or Dale or anyone, but it would be equally ridiculous for me to ask Nikita to stop being afraid. When I feel it too, we're stuck. So what happens next? Do you know? Do you feel anything from our story? If not the whole thing, at least bits and pieces? Or are you still wondering what it has to do with you? So, if it's not too much trouble, if you could send something back, even something brief, just to let us know your thoughts, it would mean the world to Dale. Sorry I can't provide a mailing address, but here's our email. Our censored email at gmail.com. As for me, I would like to thank you for reading this letter. I can come up with almost limitless questions for you, mostly about painting techniques, etc., but all those things can wait. The project, however, needs to keep moving, to survive. I hope you feel able to respond with 100% honesty. Sincerely, Paige.